Hello, everyone. Um, I hope everyone is doing great today. This is Husband Love Your Wives. Husbands Love Your Wives podcast. And I am grateful that you have come in to share with me a conversation. I'm a little at a different location today. I came to the park today. I came to the park and just wanted to show you all a little view. I hope y'all can see it at the park, and just wanted to share that with everyone. And so, such a beautiful, sunshiny day today, and I just thought I'd come here and share some of the good sunshine that we are having today because. It's been kind of cool and cold and shivery, for the past few weeks. And so we're so thankful that you decided. I am Coach Janet, and this is Husband Love Your Wives podcast. And so we're going to talk about today something that's a little sensitive to some. We're talking about depression in a marriage. This is Husbands Love Your Wives, and we talk about things that consist of marriage and everything that could affect a marriage. That's what we talk on. We have a conversation about that, and so just want you all to like, share, and subscribe if you have not already done so. And so we're talking today about depression in a marriage. And so I would just like for you all to, share this with someone, share the live, because some people might not ever deal with depression in a marriage. They may not ever deal with that, but in some time in a marriage, there are different things that you just have to deal with, and the best thing to do is to be patient and and just be understanding. Okay, and so I just want to say that that's a good thing, is to be understanding in a relationship of a marriage, because we always talk about how marriage is a covenant. And those that are married, if you didn't create your vows, then the vows are something like, and it's been a while since I've recited those vows, but there's something like, there's something like till death do us part to do us part. There's something like in sickness and in health. And so we're talking today about depression in marriage. And so I just want to share some things with you all regarding that. And one of the things that I want to talk about, because you want to be there for your spouse in sickness and in health. And so depression can be kind of a sensitive topic to a lot of people. And so you really need to know what the meaning of depression is, because depression is a sickness, and you have to know how to separate depression from the actual spouse. Okay, and so I wanted to go over this because not reading so much information, I know something about depression. Hi there, Kyler. Hi, Justino. Hi, how are you all today? So glad that you all joined us. And so I'm just asking you all to share the live. Just want to come on to talk about depression in a marriage. And because when you are married or attached or in a covenant with someone that deals with constant depression, a lot of times that can have a barrier on the spouse that doesn't, have that diagnosis of being chronically depressed. And so I wanted to come on to share that because depression is an illness, and it's an illness that you have to separate yourself to say, okay, this is not me, but this is something that my spouse is going through. And that's the reason why when I came on earlier, when I just come on, I said that it is where you need to have patience with your spouse. If they deal with chronic depression, you need to have patience with them, and you need to have understanding. Hello, Melissa. And you need to have understanding. And so I'm going to come today a lot from my experience, my lived experience. I've lived it. I know about it. And, and I want to share this with everyone. Hi there. I want to share that it's certain, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When you in the beginning of the marriage, you might not know. You might not know that your spouse has a problem with depression, and that could be a very hurting situation. Whereas you're believing that everything is a-okay with your spouse, and nobody is perfect. But when you're going through the depression, or when your spouse is going through depression, you have to know that it's not you. Okay, you have to know that it's not you that are going through that depression, but you want to know in your mind it's the illness. It's the illness. Okay, and a lot of times with some that and it could be depression with other things like personality disorder. Okay, some have depression and they have other diagnoses with the depression. Okay, but the bottom line is, and the main thing is to have an understanding that it's not you, but it is the what? The illness. It can affect the communication. It can affect, they had this, if you've been on social media, you all been on social media, they have this mm, little skit where the young man is kicking their mother or grandmother. He's kicking. He's like autism spectrum, and so and then they turn around and they hit him with the pan. Okay, well I only use that for this reason, because even though some people have illnesses, they still can understand boundaries. They still can understand. All right, we're not, to be disciplined. Or, and you don't. I'm not saying discipline your spouse, but I'm saying you can have boundaries in marriage to say, sweetheart, we're not doing that. Okay, because depression is an illness. I want to say that. And sometimes people, sometimes you can be depressed, but you're not chronically depressed. When I say that, I mean you can be depressed, and because some of us can feel down or low at any time. And like when you go to the doctor and they say, you go to the doctor and they'll say, "Have you been feeling depressed for the past for more than 3 days?" You know, and so sometimes you can just feel low. You could lose a loved one and you could feel low. But I'm talking about depression that they're constantly depressed often, all the time. Natasha, how are you? She says, I seen a short and I cried because this bullied someone. Yes. Hi, Isis. Yes. It looks like it is bullying, but I want to say this. Sometimes when there's an illness, mental illness going on, I want to say that, you know, it looks like that child was maybe being bullied, but you have to have boundaries and let them know. Because I have worked with students in the school that has different been diagnosed with different mental issues. And so what I want to say is that you have to constantly tell yourself that it's not you, but that it's the illness. And you want to be as supportive to the spouse in communication. You want to be as supportive to your spouse as possible. Okay? Because it could be the other way. You understand what I'm saying? It could be the other way. I just want to come on just to share this with you all. Depression in marriage. A lot of people are suffering in silence. And it's not, it's not one particular person. It's not always the husband. It's not always the wife. But depression can hit either one. Okay? And so I want to share that. You want to be as supportive as possible, but it's always good to have boundaries. And people might not believe it, but you still have to, if you're going to live with them, if you're going to stay with that spouse that's having different issues with depression, then you have to have boundaries to keep yourself together as well, because it can be very taxing, you all. Just want to share that it can be very taxing to have a spouse that deals with depression. Okay. And so that's what I want to come on and talk about. I want to talk about how sometimes they deal with depression, and some people have to be on medication for a while, and then some people have to be on medication all their life. And so what I'm trying to say is you have to know that it is not you, but it is the illness. It is the illness. And I've seen people that have been depressed, and they won't even take their medicine. Okay? They're depressed and they won't take their medicine because they say things like the medicine's killing them. But that's the part of the illness. Okay, some people want to sleep. I'm just giving some symptoms of depression. Some people want to sleep all the time and stay in the bed, all the time. They're working, they're depressed. Some people turn to alcoholism. Some people turn to abusing drugs. Okay, but they're depressed. And it's something to deal with when you have a spouse that deals with depression. And a lot of times it's good to have a group of people that you can share with that understands it, because it can work on you, the person that doesn't have that issue, that problem. A lot of times in a marriage, you might want to have an outing or go to the park or do something special. And your spouse, the one that's having the issues with depression, they don't want to go. They don't want to do. And so that could be a barrier on the marriage. That can be a great barrier on the marriage. And so you have to be patient with the spouse. Like I said, you don't always know. When you marry someone, you really don't know who they are. Because a lot of times when you get married, you only see the good part of them, because that's what they're going to show you. And then once you get on into the marriage and you start to learning one another, then you can see. Now, sometimes you can see the red flags, but if you don't know what the red flags are, then you don't know what you're looking for. You thinking, oh, that's just the way they are. That's just the way they are. But sometimes it's best to check things out. I have a daughter. I remember she said one time she was dating this guy. And she said, I really want to see what he's like when he gets angry. Because he was a calm type fella, But a lot of times you won't see the real person until you marry. Until you marry them, then it really comes out. Because after a while, the mask will have to come off. Okay? And so depression is, when you get into that depression, it can go into some people are in deep depression, where they can't hardly come out of it, and they need medication every day. But I just want to tell everybody, if you're going through that, I want to tell you that it's not you, it's the illness. Okay, it's the illness that allows the person that's dealing with that. It's the illness that causes them to think on things that will have them in the depressed mood. It could be what they went through in their childhood. It could be they could have been a veteran or in the military. It's different things that can let them have a make them have a meltdown. Is that what they call it? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm letting everyone that has dealt with this before to know that there is a brighter day, and that you just have to be patient with them and pray. That's something good to do. That is to pray about the situation. That's what we're talking about. We were talking about depression in a marriage. Depression in a marriage. And I'm here at the park, and I just want you all to know that it's a great thing to get some sun. It's a great thing to be able to go in the park and enjoy life. Now, I also would like for you all to join me. We're going to have a series going on. In the next couple of weeks. We're planning a series of Before You Say I Do. That's going to be a series that we're going to have coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk about marriage, but we're going to talk about before you say I do. Because some people, like I said a few minutes ago, some people need to know what you're getting into, and you need to know some red flags, because marriage could be wonderful, okay? But it can be wonderful if two people communicate and have a desire to want to get along with one another and have a desire, not only desire, but are willing to work at keeping the marriage together. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about how what's going to be going on before you say I do, to make sure that you know what you're getting into. I'm Coach Janet, and I hope I've encouraged someone about the depression in a marriage. I just want to encourage someone to hold on and be patient and be understanding, because depression is an illness, and it takes a lot sometimes to go through it and not give up when your spouse is depressed. I love you all, and I hope to see you all next week when we have our series called Before I Say I Do. Before you say I do. I love you all. Have a blessed evening. Peace.